Hey, good morning, everyone. A little cool, rainy morning here in Western North Carolina, but want to do another quick episode here, um, and see if a lot of you folks are feeling like I'm feeling right now, which is very, very frustrated with our government, more so than normal. One of the things that came to light yesterday evening was news that folks that are 150 years old or older are getting Social Security benefits payments. Um, Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I think that this has been going on for years. I think that our government um, has been too big and has too many moving parts to where they can't accurately keep tabs on what's going on, what needs to be dismissed, what needs to be taken care of, what doesn't need to be paid, and we've been footing the bill, the American taxpayer. It's absolutely ridiculous. It makes me think. Uh, with a lot of this waste and mismanagement of our taxpayer dollars. I mean, it was just a few months ago, folks, when shortly after Hurricane Helene hit, FEMA was talking about, oh well, they can't really afford to go and help through any other disasters because they were running out of money. But then just a couple of weeks ago, we were going to send money to luxury hotels in New York to house illegal immigrants to the tune of $59 million. Uh, Fortunately, that was exposed and that money was pulled back. But where in the world did that money come from? Probably tucked away in some kind of spending bill. I haven't really researched it to find out, but I mean, it's just absolutely absurd. So it wasn't just one case where the person, it slipped through the cracks. I mean, apparently, from what I'm hearing in reports, or there's multiple cases with Social Security funds going out to folks 120, 130, 150 years old. Um, if we have that many folks that old that are still alive, I want to know what their diet is. I want to know what their lifestyle is because it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, just another example of the waste. Uh, and I think it's starting to kind of add up a little bit. You know, uh, a lot of the Democrats are really, really, yelling and screaming from the mountaintops about Elon Musk and what he's doing. But here's the thing. I'm all in favor of anyone that can come in and look and see how to save me money or how to maximize my money. So I think we, as the American people, I think everyone should write their congressperson and say, "Hey, I authorize and support Elon Musk and his team for trying to find and eliminate waste and maximize my hard-earned money, my tax dollars that I pay every time I buy something, or every year when I file my taxes. I want to know, since I am giving you, whether it's $1,200 or $12,000 or $20,000, whatever it is, whatever the tax bill is, whatever I'm handing over to you, I want to know where that money goes. I want it to be maximized. I don't want it going to uh, a Sesame Street program to teach kids stuff in Iraq. Okay. Um, you know, let them teach their children the same way that we need to teach our children here. And instead of this wasteful spending, let's take that money. Let's take that money and let's put it into the hands of people that are going to maximize it. Let's put it to the agencies that are on top of their game. I mean, one of the silliest things I heard was Elon Musk said it yesterday from the Oval Office. You wouldn't believe, you go line by line by line, and a check's being cut, but there's no description what it's for. It's like no trace. I mean, I own a business, and every penny has to be accounted for. You have to know where that money is going. If not, you're going to be broke. And guess what, folks? That's where we're going. That's where our country is heading. So it's either we continue this charade for a few years and we go broke, or everyone says, you know what? I stand behind Doge. I want this person to find out where my money is going. I want it to be maximized. I want to trim the fat. I mean, you go to the supermarket, you pick out a nice steak. It's not cheap anymore, but you go and you pick out a nice steak. Um, you're going to get one that's a good cut. You're not going to have one that has all this fat over here on the side and this much for you to cut off and chew as far as the beef goes. So should be doing the same thing. We should be streamlining and trimming this. I think the reason the Democrats are throwing such a fit about this is that it's been going on for years. Okay, it's been going on for years. It's just ballooned and ballooned and ballooned. It's been going on for years. And I think that one of the reasons they didn't want President Trump back in office was because he's going to do exactly what he's doing right now. He's trying to find things that have been flying under the radar that the American people don't know about, this wasteful spending. And it's not going to go away. It's not like, if you get a bill in the mail and you set it over on the counter, okay, and you forget about it, guess what? It's not going away. That bill's still due. You still got to pay that money. And there's going to be, there's going to be late fees. There's going to be penalties. You got to pay it. And that's the same thing. I think that nobody wanted to address this. Nobody had a plan before to address how to find this waste and what to do because it's just so large. And I think that's one of the reasons the Democrats were so afraid of Donald Trump coming back in because this is getting exposed. And people are seeing the waste, and it's making people mad as hell. And I think the Democrats have been trying to keep a lid on it for years because they don't want there to be a revolt in the street amongst the citizens. They don't want us to be out there, protesting about this because it will expose so many things that have been wrong and so many things that have been mishandled. It just seems like we just keep going down this spiral with this. And one of the things that's been on my mind too is, we never got an explanation of why the Doge team, along with Elon Trump, or along with Elon Musk, why they ended up starting out at USAID. And I have a theory on that is that, he was president before, met people, made some great relationships and friendships. And I really do think that there was probably some people within the government that really had a legitimate concern about this. And I think that they said, hey, just saying, if I'm going to pop the hood and look, this is probably one of the places that I'll start, because it could have really started anywhere else. But I mean, just imagine out of all the government agencies that are handling money and receiving funding, guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is like 1%. And personally, I want it to keep going because I want it trimmed, because I want it streamlined, because all this wasted money help with our veterans, help with our children in schools, help fix our roads, and maybe where we don't have to pay as much in taxes. I mean, we've been paying taxes, and I think this is one of the reasons for years you don't have a lot of playroom with taxes or getting a tax break, because this money has been mismanaged, and they need this money, and it just keeps compounding and compounding and compounding, and it's like this unpaid bill. It's not going away. It has to be addressed. And this bill's just been sitting here for 30, 40, 50 years, just piling up the late fees. And we keep throwing a little bit of money at it, but that's not going to fix it. This thing has just become too big. So I woke up this morning and I was frustrated as hell. And you still see people online being rude, hateful, and nasty about it. I don't care what party you are affiliated with. You might not be affiliated with a party at all. But the thing is, you're working a job 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, some of you making $30,000 a year, some of you making $300,000 a year, but you're paying taxes, right? Okay. Or you're supposed to be, so you better be paying your taxes. But if my tax money going to the government, if part of it's being used to pay monthly Social Security benefit check to somebody that's 150 years old, which I'm like Elon, I'm sure they're dead or they need to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I have a problem with that. Whether I'm a Democrat or Republican or independent or not affiliated, I'm still paying taxes. So you can't sit there and say, well, I didn't hire him, I didn't authorize him. When President Trump was on the campaign trail and he was touting what he was going to do, this was one of the things he said he was going to do along with Elon Musk. He wanted to track down waste, and he wanted to really investigate government spending. Now it's come out, and here we go, and now it's just such a big deal with mostly people on the left. You're paying taxes just like Republicans are paying taxes. Waste is waste, guys. I mean, if you're a member of the Democrat Party, you take your car in to get it serviced, get something repaired, and it's not right. Aren't you going to go back to the repair shop, and aren't you going to say something to them? Don't you want them to make it right? Kind of the same situation here, guys. Again, no matter what party you are affiliated with, okay, got it? Doesn't matter. But the politics aside, somebody has been getting, or somebody, a lot of people apparently have been getting these funds. And then on the other hand, there's people that have no ID and no social security number that are getting funds. How's this possible? It makes no sense. So you should be mad and frustrated, and no matter what your affiliation is, you should want some answers. I want some accountability. I want to know who was asleep at the wheel when this happened. I mean, you know, if we're all, you know, in a bus and we're going somewhere, and you know, the driver falls asleep and, you know, runs off the road and, you know, kills a bunch of people. You know, we want accountability. You know, what was the driver's medical history? Who hired him? Was there issue with the bus? Was there issue? I mean, you want all these answers. So in any other instance in life, you want answers, and you're not upset about it. Okay, my car wasn't fixed. Please repair my car. Okay, this bus got in an accident. Was it something with the highway? Was it something with the tires? Was it something with the driver? I want answers. I want to know. I want to get to the bottom of it. So I really don't give a darn about the party affiliation, but to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense that the Democratic Party is you know, fighting this so much, because they're paying taxes just like you and I. So waste is waste, guys. This is what you have to understand. Waste and mishandling of funds. It's just like if I come to you and I say, give me $5, I'm going to go get you a sandwich. Well, you don't see me for a month and I come back, give me $5, I'm going to go get you a sandwich. You keep giving me this money, but pretty soon you're going to be like, where's my sandwich at? Where you been going for 30 days at a time? You know, you're going to hold me to task. You're going to, you know, want me to be accountable for, you know, my time and where your $5 went. This is the same thing we need to do, and I think this is why you're starting to see these little pop up protests in Washington. And you know, the sad thing is, you know, I'm glad that some of the news outlets are able to you know, block out profane words, because last couple of days got 50 to 80-year-old you know, Democrats, senators out there yelling F Trump and all. And I mean, it's like it's unbelievable. I mean, these people were raised better than that. The violence and the profanity, that solves nothing. If you have an issue with someone, you need to talk with them, you need to address it with them or their team, and you need to take them to task. You need to have a conversation, not get up. Any uneducated fool can get up and yell and scream and be profane and fight. At the end of the day, what does it solve? Nothing. I mean, they got a little bit of airtime on some TV networks. And people like you and I are sitting at home looking at these people like, you know, what's going on in that coconut up there? You know, that wheel is off. The hamster's left. There's nothing going on there. So it absolutely does nothing. It doesn't benefit the people. It's not a good example for our youth to see this kind of behavior with our elected officials. I mean, it's like these are elected officials up there cussing, ranting, raving, screaming. Uh, you know, how would you feel if this was condoned and this was fine and this was in your child's classroom and your teacher was acting the same way? I mean, it's essentially the same thing. I mean, these people need to be an example. If you're going to be a leader, which these people are, somebody elected them, if you're going to call yourself a leader and you're going to state that you have the best interest of your constituents at heart, the people that put you there, you need to be an example. You don't need to get up and rant and rave like AOC and Jasmine. What's her name? The Democrat from Texas. Uh, I mean, it's absolutely insane. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be combative. You don't have to be profane. Just have a simple conversation. I don't agree with what's going on. Can I get some answers? Is there a time I can meet with you? Is there someone I can call? Is there someone I can talk to? I don't need to stand up there for all the world to see and hold a sign that says F the president and, get up there behind a microphone while the kids and grandkids are watching and be profane. It does absolutely nothing. These people have lost their mind. And I think one of the reasons that they're so scared is they know the American people are on the cusp of finding out who and how long this has been going on, this waste. Who's had their hand in covering it up? Who didn't want us to know about it? And now they're mad as hell that there's somebody that the American people elected to put in office that has a team that is working to figure this out. They're raising the hood to figure out what these people have been hiding. And they don't necessarily know that they've been hiding anything. They just don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to fix it. I think it's been going on for so long that it's just considered the norm. I mean, it's like the new guy comes into the country club and everybody's standing around and he goes over and he's like, oh, there's something sticking out behind this chair. Oh, no, just leave that there. It was been there for 30, 40 years. We don't know what it is. We don't know what to do with it. So just leave it there. It's the same thing. I think they didn't know how to handle this situation. And I think that's why, every politician runs on taxes. We're going to raise taxes here and we're going to lower taxes here. I think they can't do too much because you got to keep a balance because you got to fund all this nonsense that nobody's been able to fix. But, it's like step one, you have to identify the problem. Once you identify the problem, you know what the issue is. Guess what? Then you can outline a plan. You can go to work on it and say, let's roll up our sleeves. What can we do to fix it? But it's just this episode's a little bit more passionate for me because, like I said, I woke up this morning and I'm like, I don't care what party you're affiliated with. I don't care what your beliefs are. Waste is waste, guys. It's absolutely nuts. So you can't sit there and tell me that you're a member of the Democratic Party and you vote Democrat and you're not a little bit frustrated at all that some of your tax money has been wasted. People that are 140, 150 years old or have been getting Social Security payments with some of your money. You're not frustrated about that? I mean, come on, guys. Everybody needs to accept the fact that this is leadership right now, and this is what government looks like right now. Everything's moving swift. Lots of things are going on. It shouldn't be a surprise. We had 4 years of, I don't necessarily want to call it leadership, but an occupant of the White House that we really don't know who was running it. The guy was propped up every once in a while. Some days he was medicated, some days he wasn't. We know he can't walk stairs. And he took all these trips and vacations. And it's absolutely nuts. Said he wasn't going to do this and then did it. We talked about that in another episode. But the thing is, that's not leadership. Leadership is somebody working tirelessly, doing what they told you they were going to do, which you go back to the campaign videos and see the campaign promises, and this is exactly it. Get the people that weren't here legally, get them out of the country. You can come in, but you got to go through the legal process. You got to spend the money. You got to pass the test. You got to do what it takes to come in legally. Okay, that's the world we live in now. This isn't, This isn't the early 1900s where you can get off the boat and go through Ellis Island and, come from all these different countries. Our country was nowhere as big then. Okay. And now our country is so big, and in some areas we really have infrastructure problems. So we can't just take everybody in. It'll just what some of these systems that are already so poor that we need to try to figure out how to improve. We have to take care of that first before we can embrace all these other folks. Yes, I want people that are hardworking people to come into the country, but I want them to do it legally. I absolutely believe that if you're in another country and you have dreams and aspirations of coming to this country and being successful, this is the country to do it. I want you to come. I want you to come with your family. I want you to be a multi-generational family. But you got to do it right. You can't just come sneak across the barbed wire or swim across. You got to come in right. You got to pay taxes. We got to pay taxes, because if somebody says, no, Elon, you can't do this anymore, guys, we're going to need all these people coming in and being legal, and we're going to need them paying taxes to help with this issue. So, that's another way of looking at it. But it's just so frustrating. You might as well roll down the window and just start throwing money out right now and call yourself the government, because that's what's going on. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And I'm sure we'll talk about it some more, but I was pretty passionate about this particular topic because Doge has been in the news. A lot of people, including myself, are for it. Anybody that can save me money and eliminate waste, I'm for. I'm there. Okay, I'm in. But for the people that are crying and whining and saying, "Well, I didn't authorize," you know what? That's fine. You didn't, but the American people, when they voted for this administration, we did. We knew this was coming. This is what we wanted. This is part of the package, for better, for worse. I'm sorry your person didn't win. I'm sorry it's not like Burger King. You didn't get it your way. Okay, but it's our time. This is what we voted for. This is what we want. And I wish everyone would write their congressperson and say, I support Doge and Elon Musk and what he's doing. I authorize him to cut waste and continue to find ways to maximize my tax dollars when they're there. And then, as simple as that, guess what? Elon Musk, we all hired you. Okay, there it is. It's in black and white. So it's frustrating. This has been going on. I'm almost 46, and I can't help but wonder, this has probably been going on in my whole lifetime, at least, probably even before. And nobody ever decided to, hey, let's pop the hood. Or if they did, they didn't know what they were looking at. They didn't know how the hell to fix it. And that's why we're in this mess. It takes, a uber intelligent person like Elon Musk to go in. The guy's the richest person in the world. Of course, when he starts talking dollars and cents and how to keep track of money, yeah, I'm going to listen, because he's done it. Something I've always said, we all come out of the womb the same way. We all come out naked, nothing in the world, no money, no houses, no cars. And through, the majority of us, through hard work and dedication and perseverance, we accomplish, we accumulate. And this man has just, knocked it out of the park. Been successful pretty much everything that he's invested his time and efforts into. So there's no reason to believe that he couldn't hear, in this case with Doge, make it successful and save us money. It's much like he did with when he purchased Twitter. He streamlined some things. He laid off a bunch of people. He trimmed the fat. And guess what? It's super profitable now. It's renamed X. A lot of activity. I think you're getting more activity on X than you probably are on any other social media platform. Probably any news agency or news channel as well. I know the little short period of time I've been on X. I know that I see news there from reliable sources. You see news there a couple hours before it even hits the network TV. So if it's good news or bad news, I want to get it as quick as I can. I'm using X right now to get a lot of updates and know what's going on. And he's being transparent about it. There's a Doge website. He posts on X on his own personal page about it. Shares. The guy shares more stuff than I've ever seen. Every few minutes he's sharing things. So the transparency is there, people. It's not like anything's going on behind the scenes. I mean, you can see everything. And the man even said yesterday, hold him accountable. If you see something that doesn't make sense, reach out. Hey, Elon, what about this? This doesn't make sense. And I have no reason not to believe him, not to take him at his word, because he's done exactly like he said he's going to do so far, and has gone in at the directive of the current administration, and really rolled up his sleeves and got down to figuring out. I mean, why things aren't line item, why people on the, why does it take 12 months to get on the do not pay list, where we've already made the decision, we're not going to pay your company or your contractor or whatever. But until they get on the do not pay list, which can take 12 months, they still get paid. I mean, how wasteful is that? I mean, it's absolutely, it's insanity. That's the only way you can describe it, is it's insanity at its finest. And I think there needs to be, I don't think there needs to be, there needs to be broad accountability. How did this happen? How did we get to the point? Who wasn't doing their job? These are some of the people that probably should never be nowhere near money or numbers again. Probably shouldn't work with the government again, or any kind of company or corporation. I mean, it's just broad mismanagement. And I really do think that the reason the left is so angry right now is that they've known about this, but they haven't known how to fix it. And now that it's being exposed, they're afraid that some of the corruption and some of the waste that maybe they've had a hand in is going to be exposed, and they're fearful of the fallout. Is exactly what it is. They're afraid that the citizens of our country are going to find this out, and we're going to get out with pitchforks and rakes, and we're going to want heads on a stick. We're not in the dark ages anymore, but we do want some accountability, and I do think that these people that have been asleep at the wheel, so to speak, and let this stuff go by, should probably lose their jobs. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. So I'll leave you with this. Still seeing a lot of negativity and a lot of people being mean, nasty, and hateful on social media. This is something I continue to talk about, because you can sit here and have a conversation with someone and agree to disagree with them and be nice. I respect your opinion. You respect my opinion. That's great. That's fantastic. Let's go have a drink. Let's go have a meal. Okay? I'm not going to spit in your face. I'm not going to say you're nasty. I'm not going to wish you die or any of this stuff, like a lot of stuff I see online. I'm not going to call you ignorant or stupid. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me, guys. Why do we have to be like this? Again, we're not in the dark ages. I would like to think that we progressed as a civilization, all right? And we're going to keep progressing. That's just how it goes. Treat people like you want to be treated, unless you want to be treated like trash, okay? I don't think you do, but I think you want people to be nice and courteous and respectful, and I think you should do the same thing. And if you're guilty of this, go look in the mirror and say, what kind of example am I setting for my family and friends? Okay? All right, guys. Until the next episode, be nice. God bless. I'll see you then.